On Roblox, there are many games. The search system can attempt to lead you in the right direction, but it often fails spectacularly due to the fact that you cannot search by genre, and many places are just copies of other ones with common search terms in their titles. As a result of this, most games are only found through recommendation, and many end up criminally underplayed. So here are 5 games that I've been having fun with recently, and I recommend that you should play as well. If you're bored of Phantom Forces, you might have fun playing these. Before I get into this, I have to quickly mention that these games might already be somewhat well known, but in my opinion, they're still worth sharing since the player counts are low. If you already know about these games or are not interested in them, I recommend checking out my previous video in this style, which lists 5 games that won't be covered in this video. Similar to the last video I made in this style, this isn't a ranked list, it's just a list. So all the links are in the description, music, everything, whatever. Here we go. Dead Slate is a Left 4 Dead inspired, fast-paced zombie survival game that is played in short rounds. You either spawn as a human and attempt to survive until the timer runs out, or kill the humans as a zombie. Humans have access to a large amount of weapons: guns, lasers, flamethrowers, turrets, bombs, melees, and also healing items. Player-controlled zombies will spawn in with a randomly chosen zombie class. Each zombie has its own unique set of attacks and stats. There's a zombie that explodes on death, a zombie that emits poison gas, which also protects allies from bullets, a strong zombie that will charge at you with a shield, and a screaming zombie that calls in a horde. Certain maps will have sigils. Players are supposed to defend those sigils from zombies. If these sigils aren't defended, the zombies get a large power boost, making them harder to fight off. When the second to last human dies, the last human gets a full heal as well as some power-ups to help him in his final stand. The team that wins is rewarded with some cash that they can use in the shop. Pretty fun game overall. I've been having lots of fun with it on stream, with viewers, and by myself sometimes, so yeah. Dead Slate is developed by Mercury Studios, and they have a Discord server with a, roadmap kind of thing, and you can see what's being worked on, so there's a lot of stuff coming in the future. Also, the lobby is packed with only the best entertainment. Attrition is a build and battle game with a variety of weapons and vehicles. In Attrition, you fight over objectives and kill enemies for points. Once you get enough points, you can spawn in said vehicles. Earlier this month, Attrition had an update which gives you the ability to change the parts on each vehicle. You can change the guns, the engines, and the armor. There's many different possibilities you can end up with after customization, but to list a few, there's APCs, jeeps, helicopters, an A-10 Warthog, and main battle tank, and others. All of these vehicles can be customized to fit different rules. The main battle tanks and APCs can be changed into AA vehicles, the jeep can be fit with a towed howitzer or a variety of turrets, and the aerial vehicles can fit different rockets, cannons, and machine guns. Any well-made shooter game with building instantly becomes a favorite of mine. Bonus points since this game has great vehicle combat. Personally, I like to purchase a jeep with a towed howitzer and then set up a fire base like what they did in the Vietnam War. The experience can be improved even more with teamwork, so I recommend trying it with a friend or two. Attrition has a community Discord server, and from what the developers have shared here, there's much to come in the future, so go ahead and give it a try. Supercube Cavern is an amazing RPG game where you enter randomly generated dungeons, fight enemies, collect items, and craft weapons. Although the game is early in development, there's still a decent amount of content to enjoy, and to me it's very aesthetically pleasing. If this game seems familiar to you, that's because it's a remaster of an older game under a similar name, Cube Cavern. Currently there are 4 accessible levels, and each one has its own set of enemies, original soundtrack, items, and a boss at the end. I really like the character designs, the weapon crafting system, and the previously mentioned soundtrack. You're listening to part of it right now. There also seems to be some kind of a story along with the game. It'll be interesting to see where it goes over time, and I highly recommend trying this game out for yourself, as well as the other games that were worked on by ZXCyan. Links in the description. Ace of Spades with a Z is a Roblox adaptation of Ace of Spades with an S. It's a simplistic build and shoot game where you fight over objectives in player-created fortifications. Similar to the original game, there are 3 classes you can pick from, which are basically rifle, automatic, or shotgun. The major difference is that this game has a ton more weapons as well as basic weapon customization. Most of these weapons are purchased in the shop, but quite a few can be found by navigating remote areas of maps, which I think is a great feature. The way I personally play Ace of Spades is by flanking around the enemies and picking them off with marksman weapons. The ability to disappear after getting a kill behind enemy lines makes you feel like you're playing as the spy from TF2, except I suck as the spy. When I'm not doing this, I like to build fortifications and tunnels for my team to use. It can get really interesting when an enemy discovers your tunnel and keeps coming back in order to take it. It's like a game of cat and mouse, and you could also change the environment in your favor by digging holes or putting up walls or whatever. Currently in Ace of Spades, some of the maps can be a bit lackluster in comparison to the original Ace of Spades or its other clones, but there is a massive update being worked on, which is essentially a remake of the game. There's all a bunch of new stuff. There's like new maps, all new animations for all the weapons. There's a flashlight system now. There's just like all new UI. A whole bunch of stuff is being worked on. So whenever that drops, the game will be completely changed for the better. There's just a whole bunch of stuff. But in its current state, the game is already quite good. If you're interested in seeing what's going to come in the future, the Discord server's there, and they have a roadmap channel you can check out every so often. So yeah. Ultimate Build is a remastered version of the 2008 Roblox classic under the same name. I'm going to specifically recommend a version of Ultimate Build which includes new features that aren't in previous iterations. UB Test Place 2 by DogeKit. As the name suggests, this is a test place and will eventually be relocated. It might be confusing to some people that I'd recommend this game, but here's why. This is a bit of a Roboomer opinion here, but building games are really what Roblox was created for, and it's sad to see how dead this genre is. I know that Playing Crazy is a popular game, and I like it, but it just doesn't allow that same level of creativity and freedom that this game does. You can't collaborate with others or build large structures and many other things as a result of the saving and anti-grief system, also because of the limited selection of parts in Playing Crazy. In Ultimate Build, you spawn on a barren flat plane with a selection of parts in front of you, classic Roblox style. With these parts you can do so many things. It's like up to your imagination really, the extent of how far you can go. Personally, I think these parts lend themselves really well to making machines, which is my favorite thing to do in this game. I'll spend hours just putting together all sorts of vehicles with like weapons on them or trying to figure out what the most efficient design is for a boat or an amphibious vehicle, and that's just what I like to do. Someone might want to make a sports car or a train leading to a town way off in the distance, or a hotel with working elevators, maybe a satellite in space. The only thing that this game lacks that is major is saving. I already play this game more than most games, right? But if this game had saving, it would be like an improved version of personal servers, which is a lost feature on Roblox. Not many people will remember this, but Roblox used to have something called personal servers, in which any player with Builders Club could generate a place for them and their friends to build in-game. These creations would be auto-saved every so often when the game was active, so you can always come back and continue where you left off. As previously mentioned, Ultimate Build doesn't have this, but like, the tools are just so much better. There's just so much more things you can do with all these new parts and these tools. I'll show some clips the entire time as I'm talking here. I've made so many things, I've seen people make so many things. Every time I think that I've reached some kind of limitation, I see someone else who's done something that I've never even thought of. It's a nostalgic experience because there used to be a lot of games like this. Just freeform, kinda, you know, really loose games with large communities. They don't have large communities anymore, but they have, I guess, more dedicated members now. But just, you would see all sorts of crazy things that people would make within the confines of some kind of building game. And that's just kind of a lost art. This game is great. It's a really nostalgic experience. It's the kind of game that I grew up playing, and it's just a better version. What made it better is wiring. Wiring is a new addition to Ultimate Build, but it's a feature from the Roblox Stamper Toolkit from personal servers. So wiring allows you to remotely activate functions. So you have a motor block, you can hook it up to a button or to a seat, and then you can press a keybind or hit that button with your mouse and cause things to do things without having to actually interact with them. This opens up so many possibilities, I can't even do it justice. Just try it, dude. Just try the game. I have a private server that I play on stream with friends and viewers, and once you get a full server of people who aren't gonna grief, it's just such a good experience. Really, it's some of the most fun I've had on Roblox. You see how much I'm rambling in comparison to the other games? I have a lot to say and I don't know how to say it. Play the game. It's fun. Yeah.